A secure password is the foundation of life on the internet and network security. There are 3 principles to hold to. A password should be strong, a password should be changed, and a password should be unique. A password should be strong. The irony of passwords is that the easiest ones to remember, and most useful therefore, are also the easiest to break. A random sequence of letters and numbers would be the best password in the world, but it's easily forgotten. The most common method hackers use to get your password is to do what is called a dictionary attack. The hacker literally takes a dictionary full of words and throws every one of those words into the website to see which one of your passwords works. Now, of course, they start with the most common phrases, such as password, since they often work. As well, they collect a list of the most common passwords discovered from any other previous hacking attempts, and they will also use those first if at all possible. Therefore, the strongest password shouldn't be a word by itself, but a word, a symbol, and a number combination. But this is also hard to remember. I say it is much better to remember a system rather than trying to remember a password. For the last several years, I've been using a system for passwords instead of trying to remember a wide variety of different strong passwords. First, pick 2 number combinations and a name that has personal meaning to you and probably not well known to anybody else. For example, you could use your house number, parents' phone number, and your favorite child's middle name. Then put them all together like this. When you're typing the first 4 letters, hold the Shift key down so the first numbers are actually symbols, and now you have this, which is really strong as a password. It has numbers, symbols, capital, and lowercase letters. No dictionary attack is going to be able to find this password. Within about 3 attempts, muscle memory will make it easy to type, and you'll notice that I grouped the Shift key press together for ease of typing. And now you have a system that will make it easy to remember, so you just need to recall 3 objects and not a password. From this, we can build on the concept. A password should be changed. A secure password is one that is changed. This prevents any data breaches on the internet or on networks that leak your passwords to other people to not be of any use to anybody else. If they're changed, they're now obsolete and they're of no value. But how can you have a system for a strong password and still be able to change it while still making it memorable? This is where Julius Caesar comes in. He first encrypted messages by shifting the text of messages he was sending. So in a message, A becomes B, B becomes C, Z becomes A, etc. And the encoded text becomes... The encryption works by shifting the text by an amount that both the sender and the receiver knows. So when the receiver receives the encoded text, they simply decrypt it by shifting back the number that they know is the key. This shift amount can be from 1 to 25 letters. Since the receiver knows the shift amount, the message is easily decrypted. This is called a Caesar cipher. But how does this help you? Well, let's say you use as your password system and your network wants you to change your password. We can encrypt the password using a Caesar cipher and shift the password by 1, thus your new password becomes... Again, once you've typed this out 3 or 4 times, muscle memory will set in, and trust me, it will actually not be that hard to remember. Now, if you forget, you just need to remember your base password and what frame shift you are currently on. Even if you don't precisely remember which frame shift you're on, a few guesses in the ballpark will likely succeed in finding the correct password. Next time you change your password, you add 1 more to this shift and repeat on and on and on forever and ever. As a benefit, you do not have to stress about coming up with a new password every single time you need to change your password. And now you also have a system for changing a strong password system that you remember. A password should be unique. So now you have an awesome strong base password and you want to use it on all kinds of websites. The problem is that if one of those sites leaks your password, someone will likely take that password and try it on a wide variety of other websites to try to gain access to your information, like your banking information. This is definitely not good. This is why it's important that your password should be unique at each site. Now, how can a password system that I've described help us? Well, this is simple. Use the website to help you modify your base password. If this is your password, then when I'm required to log in or create a new password on a website, I look on the web page for a logo or a name that is consistent to that web page, and then I use that to start the base password. So, for example, at eBay, I add eBay to the base, and it gives me. Now, no website that I go to will have the same password, and if I have to change my password, I frame shift the base password only as I've previously described, just not the logo or the website name that I've added on, so that I never forget which website I'm at. An alternative for websites that I infrequently visit or demand a password to register, but I probably won't use it in the future, is to create a burnable password and take advantage of password reset. For example, consider the Royal College website. I only go to the website once a year to log my educational credits. Why bother creating a password that I won't remember next year if it's strong, and if it gets leaked could potentially be a hazard to myself because it won't be changed for quite some time. Ultimately, I found that because the password was strong, it was hard to remember, and I usually had to request a password reset regardless. So now I create what is called a hashed password. Now, hashing has nothing to do with brownies. It's an encryption method that takes a word or phrase and converts it into a long string of letters and symbols. The algorithm for the encryption is such that it can never be decrypted. But the same sequence will be created if you use the same word or phrase. Use a different word or even different capitalization, get a different hash. So it is unique, strong, and if someone gets it, it can't be decrypted or used anywhere else. But it's impossible to remember. So all I do is go to a website like this and enter a word or phrase. The resulting code can be copied and pasted into a website that wants a password. So the next time you go to that website and need to log in, you need to request a password reset, and you go through the same process again to create another hashable password to be used on that website. If it turns out that you're using this site more often, then you can always set a new password using the methods I've described above. Now you have a password system that is strong, can be changed, and is unique on different websites. Passwords are the foundation of life on the internet and are frequently the target of cyber criminals. A password system can be strong, changeable, and unique while still being easy to remember than a single password.